spending less money, we're planning on spending less money. We cannot keep putting in too much money from savings because we won't have any. A lot of towns in the state are under the tax cap. You may have heard about the 2% tax cap. This year, the 2% tax cap is not 2%. It's 0.73%. So we are allowed to go 0.73% above our tax rate from last year. Taking into consideration the fact that we do not have enough savings to accommodate that, we've reduced the amount of surplus that we're applying, and that's the reason for the increased amount to be raised by taxes. So that said, I would welcome any comments from anyone that you might have. Yes.
Yeah, I understand is, original, that concept of the 2% tax cap with Albany. Now, any town that goes over that amount, they are penalized in the funds that they do receive.
No.
Now, do we have diminishing returns on this, or?
No. There was a plan that if you had stayed within the tax cap and were able to cooperate with other towns, do something that would save money, which we already do. So it was something that would be duplicative, that you might be able to apply for these excess funds, and each homeowner would get a check, maybe $20 or $25.
Yeah, because I mean, the taxes are just getting ridiculous. Just run into a friend of mine a couple of weeks back, who's at a wedding at the money side of the family, Martha's Vineyard. The couple own a $965,000 house. Now, his mother lives in Morris. The house is approximately appraised at $200,000. His mother pays around $500 a year more in taxes than the couple with the $965,000 house. You know, this is New York, I know. We got a beautiful area. Martha's Vineyard, what do you have? You're just looking at the ocean, you know. I mean, I don't know, what the heck really goes on. That, the taxes have to be that much. I understand, because the trailers in our township and everything, that, they depreciate in value and almost become valueless after 10 years.
Yeah.
Now, plain and simple, anybody that has a stick house like I do, we're the ones picking up all the rest of it. I proposed a number of years back, you might remember, Bob, when I was able to get to the meetings, I proposed it a number of years back, ban trailers, plain and simple, 5-acre minimum building parcel in the town, and ban trailers, no new trailers. Anything that's grandfathered in, fine, leave it, but ban the new ones, plain and simple. You don't want it because who the hell is going to pay for it sooner or later? You've got a diminishing population, people are moving out, and, there's no end in sight. Look at the foreclosures, look at the tax sales going on up at the county, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would also add to the other information that our assessments went up $286,000 this past year. One of the problems our town faces is that the only tax base we have is the land and the houses. That's it. Places like Hartwick, now they have Hartwick Seminary, where there are stores, there's commerce there, and they're able to collect taxes from them, which diminishes the amount that the homeowner has to fund. But we don't have anything like that.
Well, you got Meadowvale, you got
right, and
you got Butternuts, you got the brewery over here, you got the golf course.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, the campground Crystal Lake is in the process of suing the town, saying that their assessment is too high and they want it lowered. So the procedure there is that they hire an appraiser who comes in and says, your campground is worth this. And we hire an appraiser, the town does, and he'll go in and say, the campground is worth this. Usually the higher rate is for the town and the lower rate is for the campground appraiser. And so someplace in the middle, a judge determines what the real value is. Usually, it's someplace in between the two. But we have to hire an appraiser to go into court and plead our case, and then they hire the appraiser who goes into court and pleads their case. So we're still waiting for that to be settled, and hopefully it will be done by the end of the year, but there's no guarantee. However, if that happens and their assessment is declared too high, then we have to go back a couple of years and pay them the taxes that they were overassessed. So we have to keep money in our savings again to reimburse them for the taxes that they paid that they weren't supposed to pay. So it's, so you say the campgrounds, yes, campgrounds are not highly assessed because there's not a lot of permanent stuff there. The golf course is better because they have the investment. The 9 holes are an investment there, so that's something. But it's not enough to counteract all of the rest of our properties. Yes?
Of course, you just said that we're going to spend $22,000 less this year than
Right.
last year.
Right.
But the tax rate is going to go up 54 cents, I'm guessing 100 or whatever per
Per
assessment.
thousand.
Right? So how does that 54 cents for all the residents in New Lisbon, how much extra cash does that bring in? We're already $20,000 under. What I'm getting is, how much is that 54 cents going to raise in extra income for the town? Because we spent $27,000 less, you said you took $40,000 out for the fire department. So my assessment is it's gonna raise about $60,000, or, excuse me, $20,000 that you actually need.
Yeah, it's, and again, the problem is that we're not applying as much savings to reduce the tax.
Right, you said you used 40,000 of that.
Right.
And we've got to get that back. But is this 54 cents gonna raise 40,000 or 20,000 or what?
Excuse me. The amount that we need to raise, total for the town is, $128,350. That's how much we're raising, on an assessed value of $101,981,000.
So you're saying the taxes for the residents in Lisbon are going up $100,000, $127,000 next year.
No.
I'm not really good with modern math. I'm way too old for that.
It's very complicated, it's hard to do out in the open like this, out
Okay.
in midair.
I'm slow, but I'm
Yeah,
just.
okay. Well, let me just look and see if I can find the figures from last year. Last year, to be raised by taxes was $126,000, and, I'm sorry, that's the same figure. It's, the amount to be raised by taxes is greater this year than it was last year.
Right, but that's what I say, but how much? That's the question I'm asking.
It's about 100,000.
That's a whole lot more than 20 or 40.
It's hard to do this.
Yeah, exactly, right, in midair.
I think you probably said, but it's hard to, 50 cents on 1,000 assessed is a hard thing to wrap your head around. What's the actual percent increase? When you send me a tax bill, the line that says New Lisbon,
Right.
it will say increase or decrease. What will the increase be?
All right, last year, your tax per thousand was $672.
My tax
Or
bill,
I'm sorry,
my tax
$6.
bill went up 1.6% last year.
Okay.
You send me that. I don't, you send it to me, I don't send it.
I don't have the figure here for now, but what we were looking for, last year, the tax rate was $672 per thousand. This coming year will be $726 per thousand.
But you don't know what percentage increase that is?
I can't give that to you off the top of my head, I
Wow.
didn't calculate that.
50
Anybody have a
cents, like
calculator want to
$6?
do that? You're welcome to.
That's 12, that's about 8 or somewhere around 6 to 7%.
Pretty hefty compared to that 2% cap.
Yeah, Well, and it's not even 2% this year, it's 0.73%.
I just want to talk about the number you're going to
Right.
send a bill for.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're in the 6 to 8% increase in town taxes.
No,
No, it's, what is it, Ed? Do you have it?
it's gonna be below, it's gonna be the 0.5%.
Something's not
It's
making
50
sense,
cents on
gentlemen.
1,000, which is,
I'm very good with these numbers, but what you're saying is not making sense.
50 cents on 1,000 is 0.5%. So it's a 0.5% increase over last year.
Okay.
So I don't know what the number was whether it's 6 or something. It's
What, last
0.5.
year was-
That's what I keep asking.
Okay.
What will it say on the bill for percent change?
Last year's,
0.5.
0.5.
and that includes,
Now, remember, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's only your town,
Yes, of course.
okay?
There's
Because
there's
you get the general bill, it's got the county.
absolutely, we've got county, we've got fire, we've got library, I understand that.
now,
But the 0.5 is the increase.
If it's 50 cents on 1,000.
672 to 726. So it's,
Well, it's actually more than 726.
no, why?
We thought you knew.
Are you looking at the preliminary?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what.
The 1.23
726 is the total.
The 1.23 is not correct.
1.23 is the fire company.
It's not- The subtotal there is not correct.
Oh,
If you
okay.
add 0.59, 0.64, and 0.44, it comes out to be 1.67.
You're arguing with my computer, I'm sorry.
All right, well, my computer is arguing with your computer. so-
If it's 0.5, there's no reason to have this meeting because you're below the state tax cap.
Right.
So
Well,
obviously
yeah.
that's not the answer.
It,
I just keep, does anybody know what the answer is?
Well, what do you-
it can't be, it's gotta be more than that. Yes,
Are we exceeding the tax cap?
pardon me?
Are we exceeding the tax cap?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Well, you're right, then it's more.
If it was 670 last year and it's 720, that's an increase of 50 cents on $6.50.
And no part of this year's is funded by the reserve,
And
which
that's
is making the number
12%.
worse.
A portion, we're applying $160,000 from savings to reduce the taxes. Last year, we applied, what was it, 240,000. to
How much
reduce taxes.
savings do we have, can I ask?
In the general fund, we have about 300,000, and the highway, we have about 229,000.
That's at a bank someplace getting 0.5% interest or something,
That's right.
right?
And the problem is that we do not know what's going to come at us in the next year. When we had the flood in 2006, a lot of towns had to go out for the damage, they had to go out and borrow money to pay for the damages. Our town had enough, and it was considerably more than that then, had enough to take care of all of the repairs and not have to borrow any money.
But given the town's current financial situation, as you enumerated previously, and the lack of ratables, it's pretty unlikely you're gonna be building that reserve anytime soon.
That's right. So the reserve is what we've got now, and it depends upon how much is not spent this year that we can apply to increase that reserve at the end of the year. And, you know, the budget is only a planning document, and we have to roll with the punches as they come through. So if some disaster hits, we have to spend money. Okay,
So the number for this year is 8.08 $8.08 per thousand.
Sorry.
it's, the per thousand is 7.26.
It's not.
Oh, okay. That's what my computer told me.
I mean, all you have to do is look at it.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah,
That's a pretty substantial increase. So for the 4 years that we stayed under that 2%, we ate it this year, right?
it depends
In
upon.
1 year, it's gone.
Well, wow, this is just